All right, folks, settle in because we need to talk about what's just landed on Capitol Hill like a ton of bricks. The Congressional Budget Office, the official scorekeepers, the bean counters as they're often called, has finally dropped its analysis of President Trump's big legislative agenda, the one that squeaked through the House a couple of weeks back. And let me tell you, the numbers are causing some serious sticker shock. First off, the headline figure, the CBO is projecting that this bill, as it's currently written, will crank up the federal deficit by a whopping $240 trillion over the next 10 years. That's trillion with a T. You can imagine that for a lot of Republicans, especially the more fiscally conservative wing who were perhaps hoping this bill would show more spending cuts. This is a tough pill to swallow. We're already hearing rumblings that this could be a major problem for some of them. But it's not just about the money in an abstract sense. The CBO also dug into the impact on actual people, and their findings there are just as stark. They project that nearly 11 million individuals could lose their health insurance over that same decade, largely due to significant cuts proposed in the plan, particularly to Medicaid. So we're talking about a bill that has massive fiscal implications and potentially life-altering consequences for millions when it comes to healthcare access. Now, how are Republicans reacting to all this? Well, it's complicated. On one side, you have those deep concerns about that $240 trillion deficit figure. But then you hear arguments like from Senator Thom Tillis, who says, look, if we don't extend those 2017 tax cuts, the economic fallout could be even more catastrophic than what the CBO is projecting. And of course, there's a persistent theme among some Republicans of questioning the CBO's scoring methods altogether. Senate Finance Committee Chairman Crapo, for example, has made it clear he thinks a straightforward extension of the 2017 tax bill shouldn't even count as increasing the deficit. So they're caught in this really precarious moment trying to figure out what to do in the Senate, how much to change this bill, or if they can even get it passed. Meanwhile, what's the word from the White House? Well, you have to remember this is seen as Donald Trump's legacy. This is one of the biggest things they believe they'll achieve. So they are all in, working overtime, talking to senators, trying to smooth things over and get this bill through. When it comes to pushback, like from Senator Rand Paul, we've seen President Trump take to Truth Social, attacking him, saying his ideas are losers. The thinking there seems to be that some folks are just never going to be on board, so why pull punches? But then there's the curveball from an unexpected critic, Elon Musk. A close ally of Donald Trump, or so we thought on this. He absolutely torched the bill, calling it a massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill, a disgusting abomination. Strong words, and what's fascinating is President Trump's reaction, or rather, his lack of one. He's been uncharacteristically silent. I'm told he doesn't want this to become a Trump versus Musk narrative. White House officials are also playing down Musk's ability to actually move votes in the Senate. But still, it's not a welcome development for them, especially from such a high-profile, wealthy, and previously supportive figure. Musk also knows how to use his influence, and some are wondering if his wallet might come into play against those who back the bill. So as Senate Republicans are meeting behind closed doors right now, what are the biggest hurdles? Well, those Medicaid cuts are a huge one, especially with that 11 million figure hanging over them. The overall deficit impact is, of course, front and center. And then there are specific provisions like how this bill affects green energy tax credits, which is another area of concern for some. There are a lot of moving parts, a lot of different worries, and they need to find a consensus quickly if they want this on the Senate floor by month's end. Ultimately, as Senate Majority Leader John Thune admitted, it might all come down to the commander-in-chief. He said the president is the closer. So President Trump's personal involvement, his ability to cajole, persuade, and maybe even twist some arms is going to be absolutely critical to see if he can get these Republican senators on the same page and salvage his big agenda. It's an incredibly important moment. A real down payment, as Thune put it, on trying to get deficits and debt moving downwards in the future, though the CBO clearly sees it differently in the short term. It's a high-stakes game with massive implications. Sticker shock indeed, and the debate is far from over. We'll be watching this one very, very closely.